All right. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Engineering the Markets and happy Monday. Welcome back to the week that was from last week. Certainly interesting trade that occurred throughout some of the most volatile catalysts that we had this year. Um, my name is Jared. As always, it is February 6th, 2023. So, as we get started this morning, we're going to be looking at some general context of last week's trade. We're going to talk about some regions to kind of stay focused on. Obviously, last week was quite advantageous for bulls. We saw the market not only continue its rally, but we did get a weekly pivot breakout. And that was, of course, over the December highs. The market was able to not only clear this level on that attempt, but it actually closed outside of it as well. So very convincing that for now, the bulls certainly have the advantage, but we want to be careful assuming location is safe. I think as technical traders, we often use this concept to understand risk metrics and just the idea that at any time this rally could potentially see some more downside behavior or just experience low risk to reward potential as we continue to move forward. We sort of know some secondary targets if this rally continues, but to the downside, things are certainly starting to open a little bit more advantageously, especially if we do see price responding. So what I'd like to do, as always on Monday, is start off with our weekly expected move. See if I can get this to look a bit more spread. Okay. So for those, maybe just joining us or never really seeing this particular analysis, every single week we're going to be looking at the SPX expected move, which is an option generated volatility price range. Every time we're opening in the SPX, every single week, we have essentially the option market pricing implied volatility for the following week, sort of expecting how significant is the price move going to be. And this is mostly based on how the premium for those options is priced. Anytime we're coming from a week of high volatility, we often expect that volatility to sort of carry over, especially if there are similar or sort of carryover effects from the following week, like catalysts with a lot of digestion for the market. Last week, not only did we achieve the expected move, which was priced at about 94 points on the SPX, but we had a mild breach on Thursday. And then on Friday, as you can tell, we closed back inside. So this is pretty normal for expected move type of analysis. Touches and breaches are concepts within this realm. And oftentimes, similar to how price can sort of test and check back at certain levels, the expected move volatility can also be perceived quite the same. It's mostly about, is the market closing within this range? AKA, did the option market get the close to close volatility correct? And for last week, the answer is yes. While we did move significantly to the upside, the actual move from close to close was only about 66 points. And therefore, with an expected move of about 94, it's about 70% of that total expected volatility, especially if we're just measuring from the closes. We know that the week started with a pullback. We saw that rally continue, especially into FOMC. And then, of course, we had a lot of significant tech and communication and discretionary earnings on Thursday into Friday. So the reason we do this is because we sort of want to know how wide to expect price throughout the week. Anything that's within this range is essentially fair game. It's assuming that price won't get to a certain level when the expected move is covering that region is essentially a low probability bet. Oftentimes price will sort of respond through this region, kind of cover a large portion of it. And really what we're trying to get a sense of is, if we're bullish, what's our target? What's the upside expectation? And if we achieve that, is there any more to it? Is that essentially a cutoff for the week? Or are we going to see something like a breakout of this entire volatility region? Similarly, in the case of where we're bullish on larger context, but we know that the downside volatility prices a certain amount, we need to be aware that even if the market touches or gets into this region, this is normal. This is actually where option volatility expects price to go. And from that perspective, we can get a sense of, are we looking at any potential trend, range, or any significant breaches of existing structure, market structure that's already established over price and time. So as we move into the week, the expected move for this week is about 75 to 76 points. It's a little bit lower than last week, but as we saw, last week had a fairly high expected move volatility, barring what was inside of the week's catalyst, and we did see a breach. So even though it was priced a little higher than average, especially for this year, we've actually seen a significant volatility reduction this year. Even though that's true, the breach still occurred. And when we start to see this, we're seeing a market that is prone to at least an intraday or some sort of short-term breach of these levels. You can actually look back over the past couple of weeks and you can see that breaches have been common. We have one here about 3 weeks prior. This is the week before last, and then our last week. So what this is showing is, while this is a fairly useful aggregate of where to expect price movement, and how wide do we expect things to be, we're still seeing breaches, and they're not necessarily always in one direction. There's actually a downside breach, and then as of the past 2 weeks, there's been 2 upside breaches as well. So this shows a couple of things about this market. We're seeing volatility, but it's not necessarily being priced in well for the week. I would argue that the SPX has been a little lackluster in pricing realized volatility very well. Secondly, because there are a lot of upside breaches, we're actually seeing more bullish volatility, which simply means that the top side of the expected move is getting breached a little bit more. Let me see if I can fix this cough. Nothing like starting the week with a fresh cough. So in this way, I think there's this idea of maybe conservative price activity and price targets based on an analysis such as this. But additionally, depending on how price is moving, I would expect more breaches in the future. Essentially, because of the inefficiency that we're seeing in the short term, I expect that inefficiency to continue. A market that's inefficient tends to remain inefficient for a little bit of time. And usually what's required is a period of stability or balance to reclaim some of the volatility expectations and to sort of smooth out this type of analysis for future weeks. Until we see that, this is mostly a bullish imbalanced market because of the fact that we're starting to continue in some sort of markup phase, pushing to the upside in the short term. So as we shift into the SPY, you'll notice that I've got quite a few things marked here. And for the most part, some are relevant. Arguably a few of these are based on some maybe longer term discussions, especially here where we're starting to look at this potential Wycovian / trading range that's being established in the SPY. But I want you to look back as well at some key levels that were established back in June. For those trading the S&P, you'll be very familiar with these price levels because one, they kind of had their own recognition and name, and two, they were very, very challenging areas to trade. We often refer to them as sort of the June balance range. And you'll notice that in periods of markup and markdown, this was oftentimes a stall point. It was an area of more sideways trade. Of course, it first established in June, and as we will review this area, I'll showcase why these particular prices are marked. But as the market collapsed from this area, market obviously had a fairly significant sell-off from this area. It tells us that there's a lot of energy that can be stored in this region. Essentially, because of its high value significance, a lot of larger and probably more, I would say like high value type trade can be established here for the future. One thing to notice as well as we continued into, July, August, once again, not necessarily a stopping point, but a stall point. This is a region where once we got into this area, things weren't necessarily as clear. There were still bullish sessions and there were bearish sessions against the highs. So this price region and this balance range provided essentially a lot of back and forth. And only until we broke out of this region, and especially on the type of gap that we had, could price continue in a more momentum / trend-based structure. As we zoom out, this has also been an area of contention. Usually as price is trying to recover into this region, it's provided some of our sharper pivots, the ones that have either been significant gap downs into follow through, as we saw back in September. And then more specifically, the most recent one was back in December. Our December highs are essentially marked off in this balance range, and price was struggling to get over this region, essentially forming our end of year pullback and where we sit today. So the reason I bring this up is because as we saw last week, we were testing the top side of this range. When I zoom in here and start to look sort of, historically at how this range was constructed, there's two upper price regions that I think are of note. There's essentially the swing high that we saw prior to the trend line of the previous move starting to be broken when the range was being formed. There's also this intraday lower high, which I have marked as well because over time, this became sort of an impact point. We really didn't see another retest of the actual swing high, albeit it is a after hours swing high, until a couple of sessions later. So A lot of times just having both these levels marked gives us a sense of upper supply or the highest region of this range. And then of course, on the backswing, the lowest low is often the low that you want to mark. In this case, there really wasn't a subsequent test of this low that indicated some sort of breach. So there's really no reason to mark anything lower, but you could also go ahead and mark maybe a slightly higher low, somewhere around 407, 42. So in this technical analysis, what we're seeing is the June range defines risk in this region, especially when it comes to price. When we want to think about how the market can move moving forward, our future movement, we want to look at this region and say, how did price move in this region before? Because we can get a sense of how deep retracements might be. We can also get a sense of what starts to happen once the market hits these levels. And what you'll notice is, more specifically, as we're kind of opening near the low of this range, this area, if supported, is often a really poor location to be short. Assuming that we get any response similar to what we saw back in June, price touched this region, but never really came back and broke it until we swung all the way back to the high, essentially forming the concept that this could be a balance range, where price tends to overlap. There's often intraday sessions where we'll gap up into the upper portion of the range, sell off all day, similar to this period here. This was a gap up into sell, and there'll be periods of gap down into buy. So very disruptive with a lot of the concepts that novice traders kind of start with, the idea that a gap up or a gap down could have that continuation. In a balance range, that tends not to be true. You'll often see a lot of covering of the overnight and previous session participants as we're hitting lower regions and upper regions, essentially forming the opposite trade during the session. So as that concept kind of sinks in for now, we can back up here and see what's going on today. Notice where we stopped. For those who are looking for precision in a market, the top of the balance range so far is our resistance point. We're stopping this move as of now in this upper region. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one just to avoid confusion. And as we look at the lower balance range levels, that 406, 407 would be the best, whole dollar price. We can see that the SPY is gapping down as of this morning, with, of course, our pre-market just kind of holding the lows. So the question now is, do we want to be bearish? It's a gap down open this morning. The overnight session indicates that there are participants who are engaged in a short, and for the most part, they're not really seeing any significant issues with their trend. If I just kind of look at a very simple trend line, that's where, for the most part, they're kind of keeping price control. The question then becomes, do I want to be short, and where am I going? How much downside does this market have? And given we're somewhat speculating about this balance range, is this going to become another price contentious area moving forward? Because we know that the bulls also have a lot of trend line support coming into this region. So it kind of shows a very confluent area that I think, as we're opening today, be on the lookout for. It essentially provides a morning sell. If we see price going lower, easily we could break the low at pre-market, continue the sell-off, and simply come into a price region that's been defined before. A balance range that, if held, could see potentially significant price reaction in the future back to our swing highs, where we've for now stopped this rally. And I think that's kind of an interesting risk to reward, because assuming that we're trading this way moving forward, it's indicative that bulls won't necessarily be losing control, but bears are not going to get the type of follow through that they might expect. The type of collapse that has come from a lot of these quote unquote bear market rallies that we've seen. Usually when they hit that last momentum high, the bears typically will sort of jump on the market and see a lot of follow through. But if we're in this balance range, remember, this is often something that can last for at least a couple of sessions, as we see a lot of overlap in the trade, a lot of inside days, or for the most part, it's balanced. It's a balanced region for the market to trade, and to not necessarily trade with clear directionality. So those are some things I think you should kind of keep on your chart. Allow the market to maybe tell us more information about this region. It's a little bit of a risky area for bulls, simply because of the move that we've had. We don't really know what pullbacks look like quite yet, because quite frankly, there hasn't been too many. And most of them have been 1 to 2 day type pullbacks. We really haven't even done sort of our weekly consolidation as of this year. So that's obviously really positive, because bulls have reclaimed a lot, but it also means that we can't really fully understand what downside looks like quite yet. We need to almost experience it for now, kind of look for that back test scenario on a lot of key indices and stocks. And in doing so, bulls can keep their control, but the setup time is potentially longer than what we've been seeing. It might not take a couple days to resolve. It might take a week or two. So these are some things to maybe remember. They coincide with the SPX expected move. That's one of the reasons why I start there, just kind of thinking, if we were to maybe test the lower boundaries of the expected move, more of a price move as opposed to a trading sideways type of reaction, those areas could be breached, but then that lack of follow through moving forward would be the risk for a bear to kind of continue to think short. Now, there are a couple things that did change last week. We did start our dollar bounce, and this is a thing that we've been looking for quite a while. This is the most convincing weekly bounce that we've had, not only this year, but arguably since we saw the top of the dollar. Most bounces have been short-lived. There was one back here. We pushed a little higher, and then by the end of the week, we were already pulling back again. And for the most part, this has been a downtrend. It's a very simple concept to see as we've moved over time. This bounce, the follow through that it has, could provide pressure on equities. Once again, how long does this last, and how exactly does it respond to the price? That's kind of up for us to decide and tell. But I think this is a risky period to assume the price behavior that we had last week. We don't have the dollar on our side anymore. So as a bull, that's a risk. That's a problem for pullbacks having the type of follow through that we saw last week. We need to be careful thinking about bounce and recovery of some of those moves. Interest rates are starting to pick back up as well. Specifically, the TNX has had a pretty sharp move around 3.5%, which simply means that we're seeing, once again, bond weakness, in the case of a TLT or an IEF, it's essentially a stall point for now. Nothing really wrong with the longer term trends, but it's a little noisy for some of the longer um, uh, technical concepts here. It's a moment to kind of observe and see what the next move looks like. What that also does is it puts a little bit of a linchpin or a stall in tech. Tech was actually benefiting from some of the bond strength we've been seeing, and especially with the FOMC's decision to come to about a 25-point rate hike for the last meeting, start to see a little bit of that reduction there. It put certainly a little bit of a risk on character in the market. We were seeing that with HYG, kind of confirming some of last week's trade, but things change very quickly and it's already pulling back in. So we want to mostly observe how these things set up once again. And if things start to change, be aware that, the risk to reward for a bear is quite high. Assuming that that top is established quite well, it simply means that so long as we don't see a break of last week's high, a bear can kind of consider that the risk point for now. If the market can't continue, I can be short and put my stop or put any sort of risk parameter above last week's high, essentially seeing how far the market can pull back. So these are some things to maybe be aware of this week. The last thing, of course, would be the VIX or just volatility in general. I'm not seeing what I need to see to be concerned with how maybe more institutional trade is picking up volatility hedging, or really just looking at the VIX as any sort of protective measure for now. But I think it's, once again, in a position to change very rapidly. If there is another sort of fear-based reaction in this market, there's a few things that would need to take place. One of which would be we need to see short-term volatility expand, pick back up, or really just start to see a little bit of hedging in regards to more institutional positions. I'm not seeing it yet, so therefore I'm not really reacting to anything. But I think it's something that easily can change quickly. Like it usually starts slow and then all of a sudden ramps up within a couple of days. So we'll be on the lookout for that. If I'm not seeing it in the short term, probably not something to really think about even as a potential position. But because we have such low vol readings, if your portfolio is in need of a hedge of any type, this would certainly be a week to start considering how to construct it. Whether you're doing it through option spreads or just some of the volatility products, think about essentially protecting a position as we see the market potentially sell off. But once again, bulls technically have a lot of the technical control at this point. So that should be enough for this week. I think we'll dive a little bit more into some ways to kind of navigate this week. We'll also talk about a concept called market generated information and using some market profile techniques to get a little bit more edge in the morning trade, of which last week I think there was a lot of advantage having some of the previous session levels like gap fills, some of the session and settlement closes, along with just understanding how the overnight trade is positioned. We'll kind of talk how we can use that information to get some edge in the morning, and also how aggressive we should be as the open is starting. Whether we should wait for 30 minutes for a breakout or get into position immediately and kind of ride like an orb type trade. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow. As of now, stay tuned for pre-market prep and see you then.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible weekend. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. How are you?
Doing good, my friend. Doing good. Hope you're
Good.
good as well. Hope you're a lot
Doing all right.
warmer
I'm having an
than last
audio
week.
issue. I'm going to be right back. I got to
Okay.
reset. So I'll be back in just a minute, get it started.
Okay, you got it, man. So yeah, guys, I hope everyone else had a warmer weekend than I did. It was definitely extremely cold on over the weekend. I think it was Saturday, right? Saturday was it felt -17 up here. So if you're in the East Coast, you definitely felt some of that. Um, all right, guys. Yeah, let's get to it. Quick thumbs up for Jared, guys, for engineering the markets every Monday through Friday. And I also want to remind you, he does have a him and Megan have opened up the options room. Is it is in full swing? So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, those will be rocking and rolling. So you get access to that as well. If anyone joins as a trial membership, you also get access to that room to check it out. So definitely take a look at that. Norm is going to give you some more information later on how you can join that and the discount you can get. All right, Norm, welcome. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How was your weekend?
Good, man. Weekend was good.
Good.
Freezing weather here.
It was
Um,
nice here after ice on the ground for a week
yeah,
almost.
yeah. No, I know you
I
got
actually went
slammed.
sailing yesterday.
Ah, beautiful, man.
So it was very nice. But I'm sorry to
Nice.
hear you were freezing.
Oh man, I have an older house, and it's you could tell it was at the brink. It was struggling. It felt
Yeah.
-17. So, I mean, when we went down to the first floor that morning, I'm like, yeah, we're going back up. We're hanging on the second floor today for a little bit.
Older
Yeah.
houses can be drafty, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it really can. Very comfortable, very nice, but man, it has its issues. All right, guys, let's get to it. Our gappers list this morning. We are looking at a couple of things here in the red and in the green. We're coming off an incredible week, very volatile, and not just week. If you look at the entire month of January, matter of fact, let's look at it now. The entire month of January, as you guys know, has been incredible, but especially the last few days last week were very nice for the Bulls. So let's see if these guys can keep this rally going. I mean, we're dropping down a little bit here today, which is not a big deal, guys, just yet. Again, we just came off a really insane run, so some pullback is expected, but we'll see. We'll see how this is going to turn out. Definitely hoping it's as interesting as it was last week, because it sure was. Now, going back to our gap up list, and then we'll look at this in more detail. Got a couple of names here that we know very well, of course, in the gap down list. You can see that also. But I think a lot of this stuff, we're still in earnings, right? So we'll look at what earnings are for today. Usually Mondays are not great, but I haven't looked at the calendar yet. We'll see what's out here. We'll see what's out here. And then I think a lot of stuff is waiting to see what the SPY, what the overall market, what's the direction today and this week. I think it's going to be one of the key things that we're going to be looking for. Jared spoke a lot about this morning. But before we do that, let's get over to what's expected as far as news, Storm. What do we have on deck?
We have no data today, which is fine because
Mm,
after Friday's
yeah.
craziness, it kind of welcomed. That was the jobs report coming in the way it did. I mean, double the number of jobs, more than double. The
Yeah.
expectation was wild. I was frankly surprised at the reaction that came from it.
Yep.
But it ended up, selling off like I anticipated later in the day. Anyway, yeah. So this week, just a number of Fed speakers speaking sprinkled in throughout the week. Tomorrow, Jay Powell speaking 12:40. But like I said, no economic data today. We'll just see what the market does as it continues to digest the information from Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's get into our list here and see what we have going on as far as gappers list. Let's take a look at KAL. So we'll start the gap up, KAL, and let me also remove our list from last week. So Control A, Control X takes care of that. And let's look at KAL here and see what we have going on. So KAL, and then 5 minute at the top. There we go. Oh, yeah, this is nasty, guys. 107,000 shares float. Is that the lowest we've seen? I think that's got to be a record.
It's
Uh,
it's down there, that's for
it's
sure.
it's
Just
down
I'd
there.
run from this thing.
Absolutely. We usually see like
I see the
400,
floats a little higher than that on different and various
Mhm.
sources, but nevertheless, very very small. I would stay away from this.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, not a fan of that, guys. Let's move on away from it. Also, it just looks horrible pre-market. CTLT. So here we have what is this? Catalan? I don't know what it is, but
A
doesn't look
drug
great.
manufacturer. They've got earnings tomorrow. There might be a buyout interest going on in this. So
Okay, yeah, it looks type buyish situation there. Buy at least. Yeah, it doesn't look
it's
great.
not confirmed, so it could still be in play, but nevertheless, not that interesting, really.
No, we got almost a 10 cents plus spread here, and just there's nothing going on as far as volume. Let's take a look at BBAI. This is another low flow, a little bit higher now, 7.2 million, up 14%. And I gotta say, it does have volume, but this pre-market action, we've seen better for low floats like this one. So I'm not sure what the deal is on this. Again, I'm not a low float trader at all. I like to watch these things for entertainment purposes, but this one does not look entertaining right now. So it is not something I'll put on my list. If you do like low flows, maybe keep an eye on it. Maybe it can get better later. It's been seeing some action the last couple of days, but for me, it's no good there. Let's look at AI. So AI this morning, we are up 7%. Oh, this is the one that just keeps on slowly
Yeah.
grinding higher.
BBAI and this, both AI companies,
Mhm.
getting a little bit of a push from the, I don't know why it would be recent, but recent
Mhm.
AI craze, the Chat GPT getting attention and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know what it is too, right? It's just started to come out like in regular mainstream, right? It's been out for a while, but more people are talking about it now. And everybody's getting excited, and yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense why that's happening, not why they're pushing
is
that
this the
down.
year of AI
It's
2023? Whereas like what we had the year of weed in 2018,
yes,
and what was
EVs.
2020 was home equipment.
Mm-hmm.
2019, when was fake meat? Fake
Oh
meat
no,
was
fake
a craze, yeah. So
Fake me
maybe
was
this is the year of AI.
yeah, we go through these phases, year of AI and layoffs. Like if you use layoff on that's a key word
Well, yeah.
for bullish things. So yeah, it's insane. But yeah, AI definitely front and center this morning, as you can see here. Here's AMC. AMC again. I don't think AMC has been tradable. I mean, you've seen a couple of moves in here, but they're so small. I just don't think there's any fun. This is done, right? We went through this meme. This is the original meme ticker, I believe, right? This is like the first
GME
one.
rules really, but this was
Oh,
kind of
GME. Yeah, you're
along
right.
with it.
Yeah. Side by side.
AMC and GME were doing it together at the
Yeah.
beginning.
So I think this is over for now, at least, man. Even some of the squeezes we've seen. I mean, we've gone from $5 to 6.10. It's just not a whole lot of fun to risk on something like that. SI this morning. This has also been on our list quite a bit. Hasn't looked great. Up 4.1, 251. So again, don't really like that one. I don't like the way it trades. I know some people do watch it once in a while. I'm not a fan of that at all. GNS here, another one also. Man, this is like the list of mischiefs that that misfits toys that have crawled out of here today on the gap up list. This is not looking great, guys. And I don't like the way it trades. Also sitting on the American Stock Exchange, very, very light volume. Just be careful with this thing. I don't know how you can find a good opportunity on something that looks like that, right? So very mindful. All right, here it is. To save the list, this is all worth it right here, Tesla. So that this list just kind of regain some credibility. Tesla is on here. We definitely want to see that one. Definitely in play. 5.1 million shares traded, guys, up 2.3. And as you guys know, this thing has just been a beast. And staying above 190 for the last, or at least trying for the last two trading days and today. So good stuff, man. We might head over to maybe test that 200. Looking very nice. Uh, yeah, let's see what's gapping down this morning. So we have RSLS. I've seen this plenty of times here. Again, risky stock, guys. Not worth it. 52,000 shares traded. Careful on that thing. Just look at the daily, how the madness on it. So again, very careful. IQ has not been in play in a very long time. Doesn't move very well. Doesn't get the type of price action we're used to seeing. NEM, man, this is another one that also very tough to trade. Now this one, we've seen plenty of times, but it's a tough stock to
Yeah,
trade because the
doesn't trade
volume.
intraday great.
Yeah, the volume is just the price action very nasty, and also the spread is not great. So just overall, no from me there. TSN is another one that's gapping down 4.8, 155. I like the drop, like that. This is Tyson Foods, and again, these it's not a retailer, but these type of companies, food companies, don't trade very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, big company, but just not a great intraday trader. Semiconductors we have on here. This is on semiconductor. There's better things to trade than this
Big
one.
earnings this morning.
Yeah. All right. So this is why they're on our list. Very light volume as well. Not a fun one. Here's Billy. Billy's down 4%. But you know what? Billy's been letting us down. Right. A few times they made some moves and kind of look interesting. The intraday action has been just bad. Just no continuation. Very choppy. Usually other tickers are trading better. From here, they're leading the way, but you can see there's tons of Chinese tickers on here as well. We got Tao, we got Coin, not Coin, but we got Baba. I mean, there's a few on here. The most interesting one on this one is Baba. We had a great sell-off last week, guys, the last two trading days. So that was nice. Again, we topped off here, big gap down, and then we were kind of losing that range. So down again today. I do like this daily on Baba. So I'm gonna add this to my list. Not huge volume, but that's okay for a Monday. Things are starting a little bit slow pace right now. But that will pick up. All right, heading back up in case I miss anything fun here. I see Lyft is on here. Again, not a great trader, no volume. PayPal. Let's look at PayPal. Do we got anything going on? Do they have earnings or something on our list this morning?
On PayPal, they have earnings later this week. They got
Okay.
downgrade this morning out of Raymond James market perform from outperform. I don't see a price target on it.
Yeah. So a little bit of a drop there. It could be interesting. More of a possible. This will be in play when earnings comes in, right? They actually trade very decent during earnings, but outside of that, they could be a hit or miss. All right, we'll stop here, guys. Not a whole lot that looks great. Only three: Tesla, Baba, and PayPal. And Baba and PayPal are more of possibles at the moment. I do like Baba's daily here and the drop we're getting the last couple of days. Norm, anything that's catching your eye so far?
No, I'm still looking.
Yeah, it's a very quiet start to the week. But
It
knowing
won't be a
well,
quiet week, but it
it
might take a
won't be.
little bit to figure out
Yeah,
what's going on.
yeah, and knowing well how this how it has been, it's not gonna stay like that for long. All right, guys, to the room. Let's see what you guys like this morning. We'll start here with Paul B. West Coast. Tesla is good. We have that. GNS, yeah, very light volume, so no good there for us. Over here, what do we have? IBKR. Yep, Interactive Broker is what we use. Very good broker. The PDD. Let's see here. PDD, guys. It's dropping, and we got a couple of Chinese tickers dropping this morning. You can see those on here. PDD's on deck here, but I'm not seeing anything great. Usually not a great trader though. It is down 3.5, so it could be interesting today. Not sure. Is there any overall news in China, Norm? Just some of the tickers down this morning.
I mean, just nothing that's strange for China. Just the same old
Yeah,
regulatory stuff that goes back and forth.
yeah. So again, PDD guys, it's a tough trader at times. SECO, thing is up 120%, 9.5 million shares traded. So yeah, we're pushing up here. More of a penny stock though. I mean, it's just for me, I'm not a great trader of these tickers. I don't even try them, so I stay away from that. Be very careful with this. What's the float on it too? Doesn't look too low float. Yeah, 20. Oh, never mind. 300,000 shares. So be careful with that. Snap. You know, Ross, Snap, the problem with Snap, it hasn't been a really good trader. We're seeing some action here. I believe they had earnings last week, so we're seeing a little bit of action there. And a lot of it also, just kind of following the overall market. But man, this stock, the intraday action is brutal on this ticker. You could have caught some opportunities last week. I mean, last week you can see here clearly a much different trader than what we're seeing now. So unless there's any news, unless there's any a major volume like we're seeing here, the last 5 days or so. This is really not in play. So I wouldn't add it to my list unless I see something happen, some news breaks out. I think almost all the major social media stuff reported, right? Meta, Snap. So I don't know if there's anything left that's gonna move this. Could the spy balloon affect it? What? What's spy balloon?
That's what I'm laughing at. The what spy balloon?
Yeah.
Have you been in a cave?
No, I have no idea what's going
The
on.
massive balloon, the Chinese balloon that went across the entire U.S. last week that they shot down yesterday.
I saw that and I'm like, what is this? I thought it was something old from like the last time the guy did this with the balloon from his house.
Live under a rock, dude.
Dude, I was busy with stuff, man. I saw that. I'm like, what is this? I just kept going. I'm like, it had like a satellite thing on it. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't read it. I'm just yeah, but yeah, maybe that's why the Chinese stocks are down. There we go. Oh man. All right, great. It made great for memes. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Lead balloon. All right, guys. What else? Not much going on right now. So this is what yeah. No, I don't watch TV, man. I just don't watch TV.
Obviously.
I don't watch TV, man. With the kids, my TV stays on other channels, and yeah, just don't do it. All right, what else, guys? What else? I think we're set. I think we're good. We're good. Coco melon.
What spy balloon might be the best quote of the year right there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna live that one down. What's a spy balloon?
No.
I did see the picture. I
COVID?
just didn't find any interest in clicking on what it was.
Okay.
AI Lucid. Let's take a look at some of this. Yeah, AI is on here, guys. I mean, this thing is just be careful. Very, very risky. It can move very fast, very aggressive. It's been on a tear. I gotta say, it's been on a tear from 10 to 28, and it doesn't seem like it wants to, ease off here. So yeah, definitely in play. Just be very, very careful on there. And then the next one, last but not least, we'll look at Lucid. Then we'll head over to community events and announcements. Lucid here, we're pretty quiet. I don't see anything pushing on here at the moment. So we'll have to wait on this. All right, let's take a look, guys. Our community events and announcements. I'm going to go to the website because I did not update our PowerPoint sheets. So we'll do it off the website here. So let's go ahead.
Sounds good for me. I can do it either way. I'll get started every Monday night. Today is Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to have Carlos with Onboarding and Technology. That is in the classroom, available to everybody, regardless of membership category. Be sure to check that out, especially if you're a newer member of BBT. Then on Tuesday, we've got strategy. Tomorrow night, we've got Brian. He's going to be talking about how he trades the open at 8 p.m. Eastern. Following week on the 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm sure your wife is thrilled about that, Thor. He's going to be talking about how to trade utilizing Camarilla pivots. That's at 8 p.m. next Tuesday. CRADA this Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Eastern, talking about identifying your fears in trading and working them out. And then the following week, same sort of topic. Mike will be talking about overcoming fear of money, examining your history, and trying to get those demons out of your head. Mentorship on Thursday with John at 11 and Thor at 8. Then we've got, if you go to the homepage, that would be great, Carlos, just home. We've got the Trading Summit coming up, 2-day event, March 2nd and 3rd. San Diego, come see us, Hard Rock Hotel, 2 days, live trading, all kinds of presentations, specific discussions on trading, on strategy, psychology, everything you got there. So can't wait to see everybody there. TradingTerminal.com is our free web-based replay simulator. Go to TradingTerminal.com and you can access tools that traders pay thousands of dollars a year for, all for free. See, look, there's the Trading Summit again. Everything from retail simulator to scanners and, replay simulator, scanners. You've got this Insider, which is the newest piece. You can see where retail is trading, what they're looking at, what their sentiment is, politicians, what they're trading. and of course, fund managers and the like. So be sure to check that out at tradingterminal.com. If you are watching on YouTube, you haven't been in the room, you'd like to give it a shot, do that intro membership you see on the far left. Use the promo code PreMarket24. That'll get you a discount off the intro membership, and 7 calendar days in the room, 5 trading days. Does not auto renew, just 1 week, after which it cancels.
Guys, thank you very much, Norm. Okay, let's get to it here. I mean, not a lot to look at right now, so we'll have time for questions and everything else, but this is all that really looks anywhere near interesting this morning. I love that. What is this spy balloon? That's gonna be good, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this for at least the next 6 months. All right, guys, let's look at Tesla. We'll do some levels here. So Tesla right now, Tesla's actually in a great spot. We're sitting stuck here between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. And man, what a run this thing has had. So let's go over here. High of the pre-market, we're sitting at 195. So we'll throw a level there. The low of the pre-market, 189. I think once you do those two, I think you're set. And what a range too, 189 to 195. I mean, this thing can actually move quite a bit, which is a reminder, you do not have to take a boatload of shares when you are trading Tesla, right? So be very mindful. This is not the same thing as trading Apple. This thing can move very, very aggressive. So there you have it, guys. Stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days right now. Previous day closed towards the bottom. I think you're pretty set here. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy putting levels towards the top. If this thing can get above here, I mean, we are in really good shape if we can get above this level, because that is where we had the last area of resistance. Since then, right, at least tested twice. Since then, it's been just downhill. There's been no test and no area of resistance done here anywhere here besides this one that we're coming up against a 200 price tag. So if we can get above that, that'll be a nice win for Tesla this week. Let's see what happens. Looking good right now at 195. Showing a lot of strength. Let's take a look at BABA. So I like BABA right now. It's kind of collapsing a little bit. You know, it had this really nice run, kind of, you know, getting a little toppy over here at 120, has lost that down to 110, 112. And then now looking rather weak this morning with some other Chinese tickers also dropping here. So 102.41, there we go. And then all the way down here, 197.14. So pretty good stuff there. Love the pre-market. We slam it at 103.77. Excellent. All right, so that is set there. That is BABA. And then we have PayPal. Again, this is more of a possible. It's not really in play right now. I do like the drop of 2.5. So maybe that could be interesting. They do have earnings coming up later in the week. So maybe that can do something for us there. I see you guys throwing some other tickers out there. Tesla could touch 200 today. Yeah, I mean, that's a $5 move, which Tesla can do, as we've seen, very, very
like
easy.
4 seconds.
Yeah, so that's not too far-fetched to do 200. And I mean, just look at the Thursday and Friday, right? It just shows you. We go from 190 to almost, what's this, 197, right? So, you know, that's a $7 move. We're a little bit higher now with a higher low of the pre-market. So, you know, we're kind of trying to stay above here. Yeah, 200 could be definitely a possibility today. No question. And we got the, hold on a second, I'm looking at the wrong ticker. There we go. This is Thursday and Friday. Thursday and Friday, 200, almost 197 right now, 198. We're closer than I thought. But again, you can see here, this is not a problem for Tesla. It's another $6, $5. Could do that.
It's possible. That doesn't mean it's going to, but it's,
yeah, doesn't mean it's going
it's
to.
not.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising whatsoever. I'll put it that way.
Wouldn't shock me at all. Now, can they continue this run that they had over the last couple of days? That would be more impressive. You know, get above 200 and keep going. We got to see what the end of this week is going to look like with Tesla, and also the big guy here, the SPY. Right, we got to see what's going to happen here with.
Oh, I didn't realize the SPY was now, or the big guy was now the SPY.
Right, it's a SPY. Well, I'm gonna change the 8K balloon or something. We got to put a balloon. I gotta step in front of this. All right, guys, that's what we have so far. Any questions? We have time to look at any of the tickers. Meta, you know what? Meta could be good. Meta had an insane run all last week, and even before then. I mean, it's just been on a massive tear. So yeah, this could be fun today. Pre-market action looks good. Actually, I confused this almost for Tesla. That's how great the pre-market action looks right now. A little bit less volume, but the overall price action looks interesting. So Yeah, I think Meta could be a good one today, guys. And then we'll keep an eye, of course. Let's get rid of some of these levels here because they're overlapping our highs and lows for the last 2 days. All I'm going to do is mark down 189. So 189 here. And then we're going to mark down right over here 184. So again, another one that's moving very nicely as well. So yeah, we'll see what that does there. Meta is good. AMC, we could look at levels, but I mean, I'm not interested in it. But we could definitely look at levels on it. I mean, right now you don't have a lot to mark
Your
down.
list is a little anemic.
It is. It really is. Um, here's right. You have your highs and lows, so you're stuck between here, which is levels you have already from your platform. You mark down the low of the pre-market, and then if you look towards the top, we have one already here, a 722, great area of resistance, and then you have also up here another one at 797. Might actually be $8, might be more significant for AMC, but again, I just you need tons of volume for this thing, right? 1.6 is not enough to get this going. And again, just be careful. Uh, oh, Susan, you made me work on AMC. I was wondering why, but I was being nice, and you actually meant AMD. All right, so let's look at AMD.
You
All
get
right.
extra credit for that.
Yeah, exactly. AMD here, guys. Yeah, pretty quiet right now, and what I suspect is they're all going to be like that. AMD, Nvidia, all these guys already had their moves. A lot of them already reported their earnings, so it's nothing huge to be expected right now. Besides any news and overall market stuff, right? And as we've been talking about, a lot of these tech companies been beat up so much. They had an incredible run towards the end of the year and this year. Um, you know, and we're getting extended a little bit, right? So last time we got extended on Nvidia, so we had this drop here. The market has to do something with that. This is the second leg, right? So let's see. But overall, for intraday trading, these two have been really nice, especially more Nvidia than AMD. But we'll do levels for you here towards the bottom. Low of the pre-market, we are looking at 84.15, right? Kind of in the midst of highs and lows of the last two trading days. Previous day close over at 86.09. So I think towards the top, you're really set. If we start breaking from the highs of these, then we can go back to the left and get something above this 88.95 that we have here. Now towards the bottom, let's go over here. We have this is a minor level. It's not a lot of touches on here, maybe like 2 3 days. But this one here, this is the big one, 77.94. There's where you have a lot of touches, change in direction, right? When you have this change in direction on the level 3 times in this case, that shows that okay, this level means something for AMD. And you can see this is where we opened up on Thursday, 77.94, something you definitely want to have on your list. So there you have it for AMD. All right, excellent. What else do we have, guys? Meta is good. Uh, yeah, well, yeah, but Meta did more than that. Didn't Meta do like $30 in 5 minutes, right? In the earnings. I mean, I know it's
It was
they
extreme.
did. I think you traded it. That was it?
Yeah, I just caught a
Yeah,
little scalp on it.
yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Meta can move, guys. Meta can definitely move. On is that foods, Tyson? No, semiconductor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on
they're
semi.
not great. Yeah, they're not a great
They just
trader.
don't really usually trade with much volume. It's not one of the you've got a ton of things in the semi space,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is just one of them that doesn't trade a whole lot of volume usually. It could
Hmm.
trade great today. I mean, it obviously has a catalyst. Had
Yeah,
earnings this morning. Um, Slight beat, top and bottom line. Don't know what their guidance is, but obviously not great if they're down 3.5%. But
yeah. And you make a good point, Cam. Maybe some sympathy moves with Meta and AMD, maybe, but I'm not sorry, AMD and Nvidia and some other semis, maybe, but it just doesn't seem like it's a huge move at the moment. They're not reacting. They're down a little bit here, but there's not a big reaction to that at the moment. Um, and I don't know how much they really push other ones. I know TSM can do a lot more uh, uh, sympathy, can create more sympathy plays than on. I don't know, but doesn't seem like it's a big deal right now with AMD and Nvidia at least. Um, all right, excellent. on, it looks like an average about 5 million volume. Yeah, Jason, it's very light volume on there. But again, it also depends on your trading style, right? We have a couple of traders in the room. One of them that I speak with every morning, and he watches things that don't get this type of volume that we're looking for, right? They're a very slower pace, but he's more patient with his setup.
I
He's
know who you're
in,
talking about.
it's like what I'm talking about, because his list, I'm like, dude, what are you watching here? He tells me, this is what I'm watching it. And he does very well with that. So it also depends on your style. For me, the volume helps me a little bit better to read the price action and trade a little bit different. So yeah, but he's a great trader, and this would probably be on his list today. I'm gonna ask him after this. All right, let's see what we got going on here, guys. I see Thor with his list. I see Megan coming in with her list. Yeah, very good. Susan coming in here with her list as well. So excellent, excellent. We got a couple of things happening there as we prepare for Monday's market open. So again, pretty quiet at the moment. Let's take a look at the earnings calendar. What do we have coming up for this week that might look interesting, since there's not a whole lot happening with the scappers list at the moment? Let's hop on over here to tradingterminal.com, guys. Completely free. Tons of stuff, as Norm mentioned earlier. Norm, anything you're looking forward to in this week as far as earning? I know we got PayPal here.
Who me to mention, my friend?
Yeah.
I don't think that date's right.
Oh,
I can tell you that's not right on PayPal. They're not going to release earnings after the close.
Yeah.
On
We
Friday.
we talked about this. That's not happening.
They're Thursday after the close.
Yeah. If that happens, they're trying to hide something, because usually Friday afternoon is usually garbage companies. And when I say garbage company, I'm not saying the company's bad itself. We'll care less about the actual company. It's just their trading is not as exciting as a PayPal will be, as AMD, Nvidia, these big tech flying companies. Even VP, it's a company that can do something at times. All right, we have Uber. We have CVS, which trades horrible. Yeah, we got not the biggest week in earnings as I can see here. So, but yeah, guys, come over to tradingterminal.com. You can see some information on there. Coca-Cola doesn't trade very well as far as intraday trading. I'm not seeing any high flying stuff that I'm looking forward to. We had the big week already, but we'll see. Cisco, it's hit or miss. Shopify, for those that like to trade these, I mean that's a very wow ticker there as well. So got some stuff there. All right, nothing crazy exciting, at least for this week, that I'm looking forward to besides PayPal on Thursday. Um, and if there's any other surprises, right? Sometimes you get these surprises that might come up that might trade better than what we expect. Does BBT have a list of past watch lists from? Man, we used to have a person that was tracking that. I don't know if they're still doing it. But I'm always curious, right? And again, don't take this the wrong way. Would the reason for that would be to go back and do the replay, or try some ideas the past KP. Just curious to see how that's going to help you. Because it's always interesting to see some answers here. Disney, pretty quiet, man. Again, Disney, unless there's news, they've been grinding higher here with everything else, but unless there's news, there's not a whole lot going on there. CPI is Thursday, I believe. That's what we mentioned. Dell, no, we never look at Dell, man. Dell does not trade well at all. It reminds me of a Dropbox, very similar. They are just horrible. They don't trade well at all. The volume is very, very light. They barely move. Okay,
CPI is next, not Thursday. It is a week from tomorrow, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay. For practice. Oh yes, I think we have that. I think Amen does that already, guys, on our Bear Bull Traders website. So let me just check here something. But yeah, you do have access to the replay simulator that is in tradingterminal.com. So if you want to go back and see what was in play, there is a place where Amen tracks this weekly watch list. I have to find it because we move things around sometimes here in the chat room in our website. But yeah, there is a place where you can find that information. I'll get it for you. We'll post it later. But it shows you what the moderators were watching, and it tells you, what stocks were in play, and you can go back. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Martin, for sharing that. So there it is. Market. We'll share with our friends over here also on YouTube. So right over here, guys, if you come to this website, what we do is you could use it in combination. What did I do here? I copied the wrong thing. You can use it in combination with the trading terminal replay simulator. So you can come over to this website, bearwithtrades.com market replay. And here you can look at, for example, you can go back to, let's say, November here, and then you can click on this date and see what was in place. So, for example, Netflix was on here. He'll give you a quick catalyst of what went down, some of the strategies that you can look out for, and then you can go to the trading terminal simulator and you can go back to this exact date and try to practice that strategy, right? Because you have the simulator, but if you don't know what was in play in the past, you could be watching something that was not really doing anything, So take advantage of that, guys. Completely free. Way to start practicing and get ready for trading. So definitely enjoy. When is the next date of trading boot camp? Couple of weeks, I believe. We're in one right now. The next date for trading boot camp.
When does it start? It
Yeah.
starts in May. I don't have the date in front of me.
Yeah. We're in a couple of weeks in the one now, right? Probably like the fourth week.
We're right in the middle of one.
Okay.
It's like a month in.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. All right, guys, we are good. Apple. Are we looking at Apple here? Let's take a look. I can't spell today. There we go. Apple, yeah, again, just quiet. It's got some volume here, down less than 1% at the moment, but pushing some good volume, the 1.1 million. Again, big day on a Friday. So, yeah, we could add it to our list. But again, it's just, I don't see anything great right now besides the volume, right? So, again, quiet starts in the morning to the week. But it hopefully does not stay like that. The market, though, we're doing some stuff over here. We're down slightly. What this thing does next is going to help out a lot of the tickers that we have on our list. All right, excellent, guys. 9:07. Let's look at our moderators list. Let's see if we can get some ideas of what our team is watching there, and then we can look at what else is going on here with our watch list. So let's go ahead. Disable this video. I'm going to bring this over. Guys, as I'm doing this, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. Sitting today at 130. We'd love to get over 200. It does help out the channel a ton, and it helps out our show, Jared's show here in Engineering the Markets every Monday through Thursday. So we appreciate that very, very much. All right, let's get over here and see what our team is watching. We are looking at Thor. He has Amazon. Oh, Amazon's a good one. We can look at Amazon next. AI, Meta, Tesla, SPY, and the Qs. Megan is looking at Meta, Amazon, and the SPY. Susan also has Meta on her list, which we do on ours, because that one has been pretty fun to watch, guys. AMD and Tesla. And then we have IPOs. Oh, there we go. LICN. Beautiful thing, my friends. If you guys remember that was last week's feature IPO. So take a look at that company that we have some information on. We shared last week, and it's opening up today, Peter. Well, it's planning to open up today. Let's see if it actually does, which is completely normal. Many companies that they just don't IPO on the day they are originally set for. Your watch list: AMD, Amazon, Tesla. Secondary list: Apple, TSN, and BBAI for fun. Yeah, that's one that's rocking today. So very careful on that one. All right, let's take a look at Amazon, because that's one that we might have some interest in. Amazon, man, it just doesn't look great right now. I know it's gonna get better though. It's one of these companies tickers that trades extremely well, but it's looking more like an Apple right now. There's just, again, they're pushing volume, but just a lot of sideways action right now. You had the initial drop. We're down 1.2 here, and it's just not much going on as far as price action at the moment. So, but I'll throw here on the possibles list. Great, these are great possibles that are really going to determine what's next based on what the overall market does, right? So that's kind of what we're waiting for here, because none of those at the moment, not that I'm aware. Like I wasn't aware of our spy balloon over our country. When was this?
What?
When this happened? This happened like
it's been going on for the last week. They shot it down yesterday.
Why did it take so long to shoot it down? I mean, I gotta get caught up.
That's what everybody's asking, Carlos.
Let me not ask stupid questions. Let me go read this thing. I saw it. I'm like, what is this spaceship? This Elon Musk trying to build something? What was happening? And I just didn't bother to read the rest of it. So I will read it and I'll come back tomorrow prepared with some acceptable
Yes. Go
questions.
check it out today.
I'm
Come
gonna end the
back. We'll
show right
discuss it
now.
tomorrow
I'm gonna
morning.
end the show right now. End it early. Oh man. All right. So Amazon is good. We'll add that to the list. And yeah.
Awesome.
Rafsila says we also had a pandemic on 2020. All right, here we go. All right, guys. What else? I think we are pretty much set, guys. Again, um, be patient today. We're gonna need some time to get things going because right now it's not looking too hot at the moment. All right. So at least I have Melanie with me. She's like, she's don't pay mind to to anyone. I'm with you, buddy. So I'm getting some support.
I bet
But
she
yeah,
knows about the spy balloon, though.
I'm sure she did. She did. She did know about it. Excellent, excellent. I'm looking for something else, guys. Anything else that you guys want to look at the moment? I think we're set. To recap our list: AMD, Meta, Baba on here, which is looking pretty nice, and we have Tesla, which is the best thing that we have pre-market right now. As we get closer to the market open, guys, remember over on YouTube, don't leave just yet. We are going to have Brian join us around 9:15, and he is going to be kind of preparing you, going over the stuff that he's looking at, some of the swing opportunities that he might have on deck as well. And you can also follow his swing trade ideas if you go to bearbootraders.com, education, the education tab, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll be able to see a newsletter. Sign up, and on there, guys, on there you can sign up to get this alert. Very clean email on the stuff he's watching that he has on deck, and some of the ideas he already has on there. So absolutely. All right. Perfect. Yeah, you're gonna get my full analysis on the spy balloon tomorrow once I am fully briefed a week later.
We're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you.
Oh yeah, Donovan. I agree. I see CFC, one of our longtime viewers, already throwing balloon emojis in chat. So yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Um, all right, very good, very good. I think we're set, guys. We'll wait for Brian to hop on in. Looking forward to his list and what he has on deck. And yeah, we'll get this show rocking and rolling. Be patient today, guys. Not a whole lot's looking great. I think we're gonna have a great week. It just might not be a great day today, right? So just keep that in mind. Don't force it. We're coming off a really nice week last week. I mean, everything was just not everything, but most things, unless you were looking at Baba, were northeast last week, right? Just kind of rallying towards the top there, very bullish. Let's see how this week is going to continue. Rob Carvana. No. This thing for me, this thing is on the list of the AMCs, the GameStops, the BBBYs. It's just, I said it, unless this thing goes above, I said 18, but now when it's memeing, unless it stays above 18, 20, and it does it on some news, right? We need someone to come in with a lot of cash and say, hey, we're buying this, guys.
I'd be
And
terrified
recover.
to hold this thing overnight.
I will hold
They,
it. Yeah.
they are. There's no way they don't do a secondary and just destroy the stock price. They need money bad.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. It probably won't save the company, but it sure as hell will dilute shares and kill your long.
Yeah. It's a tough business. Tough business. So, the car vending machine company has got to be so expensive to maintain.
They need to make it the real way. The old schooly vending machine with the chips, and it's got the coil in there, and you put your thing, and the coil spins, and it drops.
Oh, yeah.
They need the cars, vertically in it, and then drop them 10 stories when you buy it.
Yeah. That would have been more exciting for sure.
That would have been better marketing.
Oh man. Bradley, we'll look at one last one here before Brian hops on. And you said Omer, Omer. No. Oh, we've seen this before too. Yeah, nah, it looks scary, man. I'll be honest. It looks scary. This is something that's telling, I'm going to take your money. So yeah, I don't like that one. Be very careful. The price actually is very weird for 2 million, up 30%. And the float on this, I know we've seen it before. What's the float on this thing? There we go. It is 60. So not bad, but man, that looks bad though, pre-market wise. All right, guys. We'll see what Brian has on his list this morning. And guys, if you haven't done so already, if you are aware of the SPY balloon, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube, which seems to be everybody but me. So that means we should be able to get to at least 250 based on that. So let's smack that thumbs up. Thank you guys for joining us this morning.
We're having too much fun. It's not even a Friday.
It's a great way to start the week. Oh man, it's a great way to start the week with this the story here. Will you guys mind repeating where to go to sign up for Brian's? Yes, we can show you actually before Brian gets on. We'll show you.
Speaking of Brian, where is Brian?
Yeah, I see he's on, so he's probably just gathering,
Getting dressed,
or he's laughing so hard at the situation that it's not able to come online yet. But come over here, guys. Head over to, actually, no, let me put over here a big screen so you can see it better. It'll be much easier to see the menu this way. Head over to bearbulltraders.com, right? So this is where you want to go. And then from there, you're going to go over to education. And then right over here, you're going to slide all the way down to like the last bottom piece right here. There we go. So here it is, swing trading alerts from Brian. So sign up for this. Again, also get the book, guys. The book is available on Amazon. Sign up for this and you start getting the alerts. You see what he's looking at, some of the trades he's in already. We should be getting into some good swing trade opportunities. I know the market has not been great sometime over last year. The great thing about this is not, it's when good opportunities arise. Not all of them are going to be green, but when he sees something that's worth, taking a shot at, he's going to let you know there and you can follow through. So, but again, get the book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. There should be a copy right above. You see all the books we have, the bestsellers, and he's going to be this one right here, How to Swing Trade. So at least you understand what's happening, right? So yeah, definitely take advantage of that. All right, sweet. Very, very good. Yeah, we are all set to go, my friends. Thanks, Melanie. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Rob, thanks. Thank you, guys. Yeah, appreciate all the great comments there. And we'll be live again 8 a.m. tomorrow. So make sure you guys, if you haven't subscribed, that you do that also, so you can hop in with us on tomorrow morning. Is LICN opening at 10:30? I think that's what they had it scheduled for last time, Jack.
IPOs don't have a scheduled time. They just generally open about an hour or so after the market's open.
Right.
You have to balance the book. So
yeah,
but that's generally for IPOs. That's a pretty decent estimate.
Yeah. So 10:30-ish, expected to open up at that time. But again, don't be surprised if it doesn't, right? This happens a lot more often than what at least it used to be. Yeah, Brian's getting his list together, Tony. So that's gonna come up shortly here, and then we're gonna switch over to him. But you know what? Maybe there's something's up. Oh, there's Brian. I can't hear you. Hey, Brian. All right. There it is, Brian. Good morning. Guys, over on YouTube, I'm going to switch over to Brian and we'll see what he's looking at. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's put up the list that I'm looking at here. Seem to have Tesla on my list every day. It's not too crazy about anything at this point. Everything seems sort of pretty flatline-ish to me. Apple might be, this might be another Friday session where we gap lower and then the buyers come in. We'll see. Did have a pretty significant sell-off later in the day. So as I mentioned in the swing trade video, we pretty much retraced that entire gain we had in the morning. We did finish up a little bit on most of the indexes, but it was still a down day. Let's see here. A lot of Chinese stocks all trading down here this morning. I'm short some BABA calls expiring end of the week here. It looked like the Chinese stocks were rolling over. Fortunately, they sent a balloon over, which the shot down. So that's raising tensions. I'm sure that's why a lot of the Chinese stocks are down. Let's see here. What else? Meta's in the green, eh? Energy might be interesting. I'd watch energy. I suspect that some money will rotate into that. Just we're up on pretty much. Natural gas is up a little bit, but it's faded. Natural gas still having some problems here, catching a bid, even with all that cold weather. Amazon. Just don't like Amazon. Where did my alert go? All right, there's what I'm watching. You just have to be careful with Omer. I don't know what the float on it is. What is the float on it? What is the float on Omer? Anybody know? $60 million, so it's not really a low float. So it may not be that interesting. Tesla. Tyson reported this morning. Not great numbers. Might not be a great trading stock. Has been kind of whippy. Apple's really just flatlining. Let's see what else. kind of interested in BABA. BABA might be interesting. It's kind of been leaking off during the trading session so far. Obviously, all the Chinese stocks are down on this sort of new source of tension between US and China. Yeah, CCL. So we're getting, where are we getting? Royal Caribbean is going to be reporting. Can't remember exactly what day was Royal Caribbean reporting. Was it Tuesday? Kind of get a read on how that industry is looking. Tuesday, end of the day, PreMarket open. Okay. Apple's dropping a bit here. Why? Qs aren't really doing anything. Spies, if anything, spies going up here. Okay. Well, we'll put some lines in on the charts here. I always like to put in my lines on the SPY and the Qs, just so that I know when we're breaking out of a pre-market trading range. Yeah, the dollar is strong this morning, eh? I would have thought gold would be down. I'm long some dust, which is short gold. Wow, like holy crap, what's going on there? Hmm. 57.60 is 57.60 is high. No. Yeah, it could be. Tesla's selling off. I'm not going to watch Omer. I've just taken up real estate here right now. The only thing you have to be careful about with BABA is it does tend to be, it trades pretty erratically. And it's also, all right, here we go. Let's just see what's going to happen. Kind of watching, I'm watching Alcoa too here, just because it's kind of interesting. Of course, we're getting a pop here on the SPY. We're getting buyers coming in right away.
All right, good morning, everybody. Sorry I was late. TQQ is popping up. Amazon is running up. Tesla is popping up. Tesla to 195. Very nice. Tesla is very strong. Popped up to 95. TQQ to 25.
Predictable buying at the open.
Tesla.